Hello beautiful glam girls, welcome back to another video. So it is again Sunday story time, makeup and story time. I don't even know, Sunday story time, makeup and story time. What should be the official title? Should it be makeup and story time Sunday or story time Sunday? Because then I could like play and maybe not do my makeup one time and just tell the story. What do you guys want? What do you think? Anyway, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. I'm Gabriellaglamour, or as the channel says, otherwise known as Gabriellaglamour. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you subscribe. We do beauty, we do reviews, we do makeup tutorials, we do story times, we do fashion try-on hauls, plus size fashion, we do Amazon hauls, we do lifestyle, we do home decor. I mean, one-stop shop, okay? Master of all, jack of all trades. I'm that, been that, still that, gonna be that. That's what happens when you're on TikTok all the time. TikTok has infiltrated my mind. By the way, I'm also on TikTok. My links will be down below. I'm 3,000 away from 300,000 on Instagram. Come on guys, go follow me on Instagram. I'm 3,000 followers away from 300,000 on Instagram. I would really appreciate the love and support, and I would also really appreciate if you subscribe and like this video. Even if you didn't like the video, why didn't you like it? Let me know. I'm open. We can talk about it. We can have a discussion, okay? We can speak. Anyway, so like I said, today is makeup and story time Sunday. I don't know exactly the look that I want, but I wanted like kind of like hoochie, old school Instagram, like too much makeup kind of vibe, like dark, or not dark, like bold lip with eye makeup and like contour. Like I just wanted to do the most because it's Saturday night. We're gonna pretend that we're gonna get lit. Maybe we will get lit. I mean, I don't know. Follow me on Instagram. Maybe we will get lit. Anyway, I know I'm just talking too much, but I just wanted to check in with you guys. How are you? How are you doing? Like I said, on Instagram, I have been really doing my best to make a lot of content for you guys. Constantly, you know, updating you with what I'm doing during the day, how I'm spending my days, giving you some inspiration, making a lot of content, keeping you up to date with like all the decor and renovating I'm doing. So if you are a subscriber and you've been following my home decor vlog of me redecorating, I am literally almost done, and so my next vlog will be up soon, and then we're gonna start the tour series where I'm gonna do each room in the apartment and do a tour for you guys. So definitely subscribe for that. But for the mini in between vlogs, check out my Instagram story, because that's where I am doing up to date, like every single day, showing you, oh look guys, I got this new vase, I got this new thing, I got this new cute little basket from Target. It is from Target, I'll link it below. But I'm just saying, there is where I'm doing the bulk of that, updating you guys every single day, and also of course fashion and beauty inspiration there as well. The dog is over there with his dad, so I'm gonna leave him, but I also have a 6-month-old puppy. Go check out my other videos to see him. I know this is a long intro, but I just wanted to get a lot of things off my chest and just ask you guys how you're doing. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling, how you're dealing with everything. Let's talk. I'm here for you. You can DM me, we can chat. So yeah, I'm here for you guys. We're all going through this together, and I love you. But in the meantime, while we are home, let's have some fun. Let's talk about some weird stuff. So last week's video was very scary, and some of you were like, I couldn't watch that video. I was scared from the title. So this week is a little creepy, but it's not as, I guess, scary as the last one, because the last one had to do with like blood sacrifices and like demons. This one is a little more eerie, creepy, ghost-y kind of story. I actually had never heard of this, so I was like, when I found out, I was like, oh, I have to do a storytime Sunday on this because it is so interesting. So today's storytime is about La Pascualita. I think that's how you say it. So it is about this bridal shop in Mexico, in Chihuahua, Mexico. I believe that's the place. It's about this bridal shop in Mexico. Sorry, I'm ordering a pizza in between doing this video. It's Saturday, we're in quarantine. I also have a free pizza to redeem from Domino's, so hello. We're not gonna let that pass us by, you know what I'm saying? We're not gonna let that pass us. So I did moisturize my skin already, and I applied some of this ColourPop liquid highlighter in the shade Champagne Bubbles. It's really pretty. I suggested that I put like the products on the screen instead of talking about it in the video, but I feel like that's more work. What do you guys think? Maybe I should just do my makeup and not say anything. Let's try that. So we're gonna be talking about La Pascualita. So this story takes place in Mexico, and the story begins with this bridal shop owner, and I totally forgot her name. Of course, I am so unprepared. So the bridal shop is called La Pascualita, I believe. La Pascualita is in Chihuahua, Mexico, right? So it's this bridal shop, and it was started by this woman. Her name was, I want to make sure that I have her name correct. Her name was Pascuala Esparza. Miss Pascuala, her daughter, was engaged to be married, and mind you, she is a bridal shop owner, so I'm sure that, you know, it was a really big deal for her. She was super excited, super happy. So her daughter is engaged to be married, and her daughter, literally right before the wedding, dies, which is so sad because, you know, her mother owned a bridal shop. I'm sure she was like super excited. The story is that she was bitten by a black widow spider, and that's what caused her untimely death. Pascuala's daughter dies right before her wedding, right? So here's this the first eerie thing that happens is that before her daughter died, Pascuala did not have any mannequins in front of the shop's window. It was just the dresses, the sign, no mannequins. Right after her daughter dies, a mannequin wearing a wedding dress is seen in the window of the store. Like right after her daughter dies. From the research I did, nobody mentions that Pascuala was like extremely sad. There was no mention of like a mourning period, which I don't know if that's weird or not. Maybe in the context of this story, that's why I feel like it's weird, because I'm just like, if you're a business owner, maybe I'm just being judgmental, but if you're a business owner and your kid dies, like, do you go right back to business like right after? Like, do you not, I mean, if it's like a big corporation, you have a board, you have people to run the business for you. But if it's like a small, like mom and pop kind of shop, which this is, wouldn't you like maybe the store shut down for a little while or something? Like, I don't know. From the research I did, there was no mention of her taking time to like grieve her daughter. It was just like literally the next day or next week or something like that. Like right after her daughter died, there's this mannequin in the window. The mannequin looks like this. Okay, this mannequin apparently was so lifelike that the people who worked in the store were actually uncomfortable around this mannequin. The mannequin had really realistic human looking hands. It was the most realistic human looking hands that I've ever seen on a mannequin, that anyone's ever seen on a mannequin. When you look at the photos of the mannequin's hands, it is very eerie. There are wrinkles in the hands like a real human hand, to the point that people who worked in the shop claim, and people who, you know, would come by to see her, they claim that she was aging, that the mannequin was actually aging, that over time she had wrinkles in her face, the wrinkles in her hands were getting deeper, and they also claim that she would make faces, that she would smile. People who worked in the store say that when they started working with the mannequin, that their hands would sweat, that the mannequin's hands would sweat, that they would just feel like overwhelming presence. They just basically, the story is, people believe that the mannequin is actually Pascuala's daughter. Like literally they think it's her body that was embalmed or preserved in some way to be this mannequin, which I'm out, I'm done. I mean, after that. So people would claim that they would feel very uncomfortable that when they were in the shop alone with the mannequin that she would move, that they would put her in a certain position, and you know, in the middle of the night she would change positions and they would come back and she was in a different position. They would claim that, you know, they got her on camera and she would be like smiling. She got kind of this cult following, almost like a Mona Lisa, where she had this like little grimy like smirk on her face that wasn't quite a smile, but it wasn't quite a frown. And so they kind of gave her this, you know, story of like a Mona Lisa type, like, oh, her eyes follow you. And another thing was her eyes looked really, the thing was this mannequin looked really busted, almost like in the, like not busted, but it really did look like a person that was embalmed, because you know how mannequins are very smooth, they're meant to look, you know, they're meant to have like a human alike look, but obviously they look very fake. This did not look perfect. It did not look, you know, uber perfectly beautiful. It had similar features to a real human. And they also say that the people who at the time lived in the neighborhood who knew of her daughter, they say that the mannequin looked a lot like her daughter. Whereas now, you know, we don't know because we don't see pictures. There's no pictures of the daughter. There's no record of what she looked like. But we can go according to what Pascuala looked like and kind of, you know, compare the mannequin to her and see maybe similarities of what her daughter would have looked like. And if you look at pictures of Pascuala next to the mannequin, you can see that there are similarities. But you could also argue that that's because it's meant to look like a Mexican woman, and maybe that's why it has some similarities. Not that all Mexicans look alike, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. Like maybe it was meant to look like her because it was her store, or maybe it was meant to look like her daughter. So a lot of people claimed that they would come visit. It started to get this cult following where people would come to visit the store just to look at this mannequin. People claim that they have videos of her moving. People claim that she would sweat, that she would cry, that she would smile. Just all these crazy things. You know, people want to give this mannequin this soul basically, and they think that it was actually her daughter. Another theory is that it was her daughter's body but not her head. And if you look at the mannequin, you can kind of see that the head does look more fake. It looks like a mannequin, but the hands, guys, the hands look like human hands, which is so freaking creepy. The reason why these theories went so far and why people believe them is because I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I'm pretty sure from my research it was said that there was no record of her daughter really like dying. There was no record of funerals. Like nobody knows what happened to this girl. So people are like, this is so weird that her daughter dies right before the wedding, and then next thing you know she has this mannequin in her shop. Like what are the odds that her daughter would die and then immediately, without any funeral or anything, this mannequin shows up in front of the store? There was like news reporters that would come and people from all over the world that would come to get a picture of her. And there was like news stories done where they would come and interview and take video of her, and they would claim that the mannequin would move or touch them or sweat. I mean, on camera there was no real way to know, because you know, back then like they would just do camera tricks and people didn't really know what could be done with technology, so it was easy to kind of fool people. Like you could make the camera shake and say it was her moving and things like that. But people were really freaked out. Another crazy thing was that only the shop owner, which was Pascuala, only her and I think one other person who worked at the shop, she would choose like one specific person who had I guess authority to touch this mannequin. And there was only a few people, like I said, her and like one other person in the shop who was allowed to touch the mannequin, to change her position, to change her dress. So that was another thing that kind of freaked people out. They're like, if this is a regular mannequin, why is it that only the mother and like one other employee can touch the mannequin? Like, why does she need some special treatment? So a lot of people who would go see the mannequin would claim that she would follow them. The eyes of the mannequin would follow them as they walked around her, because she's the only thing in the window, so you're able to kind of go from one side to the other, and it's a big shop window. So people would say that her eyes would follow them. Like I mentioned, one of the workers in the store, or a few of them, claimed that whenever they went around the mannequin, they would break out in a sweat. One of the workers also said, one of the workers who, like I mentioned, had the authority to change her dress, also said that another reason why they were so freaked out, which this is so creepy because it makes no sense. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no purpose for this. She says that another thing that really freaked her out about this mannequin is that on its legs, she had varicose veins on her legs, which are spider veins. Proud owner of a few of them, thank you so much. So why would a mannequin have varicose veins? Like, there is no purpose for that. Absolutely no purpose. Now, if it was a mannequin who was used as like a dummy for, I don't know, doctors to practice on or something like that, I don't know, maybe to make it look more realistic or something, but even then, so it doesn't make sense. There is no purpose for a mannequin to have varicose veins. Like, it does absolutely nothing. It's not like it's anatomically correct, right? Correct thing to have that makes it imperative or, you know, so necessary for a mannequin. Like, it's absolutely unnecessary. That is so freaky to me. So that's another reason why a lot of people were like, okay, this is her body. She has realistic hands that feel like human hands, that sweat. Mannequin hands are smooth. Why is her hand sweating? So there's just no good reason for this mannequin to have varicose veins. She also has like really wispy lashes that look like they could have been real, or like what real lashes might look like with mascara on. Like I said, now another thing to mention is that this mannequin was on display for 75 years. I believe it was almost 80, 75 to 80 years. A couple years ago, they finally moved her out of the bridal shop, and then she was put into some museum. And so you could argue that, you know, well, it's an old mannequin, you know, times were different when they made her, which is all kind of, you know, valid. Another huge part of this is that obviously it cannot scientifically be her actual flesh and blood body, because that would take an extreme amount of care, time, effort, constant re-embalming, constant cleaning, and just, it would take ridiculous like levels of care to maintain an embalmed body. And I also don't know how that would work in terms of like her standing and wearing a dress. It wouldn't be physiologically, you know, biologically, scientifically possible to have her actual body. But you know, some people believe it is possible just because they think that if there's a will, there's a way. And you know, you could also believe that it's not technically her actual flesh and blood body, that it is just a really creepy mannequin that was made poorly to look, or actually maybe not made poorly, actually made very well to look like a human. And maybe she asked for her daughter's spirit to be put into this mannequin, which caused it to move and have all of these attributes of a person, which for me, I feel like that's the more sane, if you will, explanation. Because it's possible, maybe she did some type of, you know, spiritual, some type of spell, if, you know, for lack of a better word, some type of spell or something to put her daughter's spirit into this mannequin because she just couldn't live without her, and maybe that's why the mannequin cries and sweats and moves, and maybe it really is like her daughter's spirit living in this mannequin trying to get out, which is so sad. I feel like no one ever talks about that, but for me, I feel like that's all I can think about, is if she did trap her daughter's soul in there, or spirit in there, however you want to word it. How sad would that be? Like, maybe that's why she's, I look creepy. Maybe that's why she's, you know, moving and crying and doing all this stuff. She's like, hey, help me. You know, and that's so sad if you believe that that's possible. Like I said, I don't feel like anyone's mentioned that. I feel like that is a possibility, which is sad. Another theory about this lifelike or come to life mannequin is that there was a French magician. So basically there's this theory that the mannequin did start out as a mannequin, and I mean, I guess technically it was always a mannequin, and that a French magician came to Mexico and saw her and was so entranced by her and fell in love with this mannequin that he started to, I guess maybe he had magic tricks and was able to like break her out, but they say that perhaps he fell in love with her and somehow magically would dance with her and sing with her, and that this like fake relationship that he created with this inanimate object caused her to come to life, kind of like the movie Mannequin. Oh wait. I love that movie. So yeah, kind of like the movie Mannequin. People claim that, you know, he fell in love with this mannequin, and him, you know, being a magician, and I guess somehow spiritually, you know, awakened this mannequin and gave her this soul. And you know, now she's this bride who's like trapped in this mannequin, and she's in love with the French magician, and she can't be with him, so she's scaring people, I guess. That's not funny. I'm scared. I'm genuinely scared. Apparently, even the name Pascuala Esperanza, whatever her name was, I totally forgot, no disrespect, but whatever her name was, apparently people even claim that that was made up in itself. So basically, a lot of this story is really just the story passed down, kind of like telephone, how over and over again the story was told and details were filled in to make the story juicier or to make it scarier or whatever. And no one really knows the exact origins, which makes it even creepier if you think about it, because, you know, it's just this mannequin that looks so lifelike, and people are having all these feelings about it, and there's no real way to know where she came from or why, you know? We don't know, and it's a very creepy mannequin. It really is. So, like I said, no one really knows the exact origin. Those are just some of the theories, but obviously in Mexican heat, you know, no embalmed body would have survived any of what this mannequin has, you know, been through, let alone for damn near 80 years. Oh, also wanted to mention that people claim that the mannequin blushes as well. So, you know, these are just things that people say she does. They say her eyes move, she blushes, she sweats. It's her eyes. If you look at her eyes, it's not just her hands. Her eyes have a very glass-like, realistic, sad look to them, which is so weird. Believe me, anyone, no matter how much of a skeptic you are, when you look at those photos, you're like, why she look like that? Like, it's just so creepy. But another thing that I question, I mean, besides the fact that, you know, the story has kind of been passed down for so long that there's no information about her daughter or anything, which is so weird. Because, you know, the shop owner, there's a photo of her, you know, we know her name, which some people claim that her name was also made up with, you know, with time, because this story takes place in 1930. So it's just weird that we know the shop owner's name, even though, like I said, because it's been so long, maybe, you know, that was also made up. But it's like, why do we have a name for the shop owner and not her daughter? We have a photo of her and not her daughter. That's so weird to me. And another thing that is so weird to me is, why is there no information about the fiance? Like, we're so focused on the daughter, and I'm just like, where's the fiance? Like, why is there no information on this supposed fiance? Why was he not, you know, asking questions? Why was he not brought into the story and talked about? Because I'm just like, if that was you, wouldn't you be like super upset, wanting to know, you know, I guess what happened to her? Or like, I just feel like it's so weird that there's that big hole in the story of no one talks about her fiance. Like, that's just so weird to me. I'm gonna do my lips off camera. Okay guys, so that's the final look. So like I said, what do you guys think? My biggest question is like, what happened to the fiance? Like, why don't we know anything about him? Because if there's all these stories and news stories, you know, that were done like when he would have still been alive, where was he? Like, if this happened in the 30s, why is it that by the time we had the 60s and 70s, when people were, you know, when we had news already, by the 60s we had full-on news channels? So it's like, why wasn't he ever interviewed? Like, where was this fiance to tell us that looks like my fiance? You know what I mean? Like, he would know that it was her or not. Like, no one has brought this up. I've watched videos about this, I've done research, and I've never heard anyone mention anything about the fiance or even question. And I'm the one that's like, okay, where's this fiance? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is not a story from the 1800s. This is 1930. So by 1960 something, when they were like going to check out this mannequin, where was the fiance to confirm that he thought that was his fiance? Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think of this story. For me personally, I think it's very possible that it's like maybe her spirit that's trapped in the mannequin, which is causing these lifelike things to happen, or like her to do these lifelike things. What do you guys think? Like, I'm just really curious if you guys think that maybe somehow supernaturally her body was preserved, or maybe she's possessed. I don't know, but she's in a museum now, honey, so you can't just go to Mexico, Chihuahua, Mexico, and go check it out. Now you gotta go to a museum. Contra. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, you know, all that good stuff. Leave a comment. Let me know if you like me to just do the story, no talking about the makeup, just link it below. I will have like one link that you can click, and it will have a list of photos of every single product, and you click on the product and you can purchase it straight from there, instead of having to like write every single product out. So every time you want to see something from the video, usually there'll be one master link in the description box with everything in the video, and I'll try to find, like, you know, what I'm wearing and lipstick and decor if I can, just to cover all the bases. I love you. Don't forget to stay glam. We're in this together. I'm here for you. Let me know how you're doing in the comments as well, and I'll see you in the next one.